Left of the box. Grand Theft Autobot says he's been caught hobnobbing with right extremists already, and he's talking about Pierre Polyev here, and yeah, he has. He still is. So this is from Press Progress, and this is from September 18th that this article was made. Pierre Polyev is headlining a fundraiser dinner to place a far-right Alberta magazine's publishers' books in schools. So some books they want out, some books they want to force in. Funny how that happens, and which is which. Which it's interesting which books they try to force out versus which books they try to force in. And having a far-right Alberta magazine's publisher's book in school doesn't seem like a good call. But for some reason, the conservatives want books about consents and inclusivity and the rights of all people and the way to express yourself, like all those books that might help kids in their journeys of becoming people. They want those out of schools. So Alberta Premier Danielle Smith and former Prime Minister Stephen Harper will join Polyev in toasting a controversial author, Ted Byfield. Now, Danielle Smith has also been hobnobbing with Tucker Carlson the one time when she was up on stage with him when they were actually spouting the replacement conspiracy theory. More people need to be paying attention to Canadian politics because this is getting really bad. Conservative leader Pierre Polyev is joining an all-star Alberta lineup of speakers for a fundraising dinner to help place a controversial far-right magazine's publishers' books in schools. The Albertans Toasting Ted fundraising event is billed as a gathering of great Alberta families to remember and honor Ted Byfield. Wait, what is this about? They're doing what? What? That is not how you spell honor in Canadian. I'm already very sus of this guy. If we're using American language for him, that is totally uncalled for. We can't be having politicians using American spelling in their brochures, in their media sources, in their pamphlets. That is just so beyond a reasonable doubt horrendous. That should be disqualifying for any politician in this country to use American spelling in their brochures. How dare he? How dare they do this? It is just so uncalled for. American spelling in brochures. Ah, the nerve. It actually does kind of bug me. So, this event is billed as a gathering of great Alberta families to remember and honor. Should be a U right in there. Ted Byfield, a divisive socially conservative figure in Alberta politics who opposed gay rights and abortion and supported South African apartheid. That sounds like a charmer of a man there. You see, it would almost be understandable if Ted was American, that they would have that American spelling in there, but apparently he's a figure in Alberta politics, so they can't use that as an excuse. No, But yeah, post gay rights and abortion and supported South African apartheid. Just charming individual right there. Yeah, his books should definitely be in schools. That is a lot of sarcasm right there. Fine dining, fun, fellowships, singing, awards, and speeches. A website promoting the event announced, promising it will be an evening like no other. That sounds like any other evening with dining, fun, fellowship, and singing, awards and speeches. That That sounds par for the course. The fundraising dinner is raising money to place Byfield's, is it Byfeld's or Byfields? Do I care? Not so much. Byfeld's book series about the first 2,000 years of history of Christianity in school libraries. Because I'm sure he's the expert on that. You know, evolution. Pfft, why bother teaching that when you can teach the first 2,000 years of Christianity in schools? Because, you know, public schools should not be influenced by any particular religion. That's actually kind of like in the Charter of Rights and Freedoms type thing. Like there are separate school boards, like the Catholic school board here, which I am actually very much against. But promoting a religion like this specifically in a school, no, that's not good. That's not good. The All-Star Alberta lineup includes Poilievre, along with Alberta Premier Danielle Smith and former Reform Party leader Preston Manning. Oh, there's a name I haven't heard for a while and wish I would never hear again. Stephen Harper, the former Conservative Prime Minister, is also scheduled to deliver video remarks. It's not like there isn't enough room on there. They could have just squished in the U. Like there's a lot of margin here, so I know they're trying to line it up here, but there's still space. There was room. There was room. There was room for the U. Just saying. Byfeld is an influential publisher and columnist who passed away in 2021, is known for injecting a brand of Alberta-style conservatism into the mainstream Canadian right. The fundraising dinner's website explains that the school library sponsorship to sponsor a set of the Christian, their first 2,000 years into a library aims to ensure the book is checked out and read up to 5,000 times. So they're trying, this guy isn't even alive. And they want to try to get his books in there. He's already passed away, but they want to make him into some sort of celebrity. Okay. Every time one of these books is read, truth is absorbed and young minds are impacted at their most formative stage of intellectual development. And what is it the right always says about indoctrination? This is what they're definitely trying to do is indoctrinate. And I hate to say it, religion isn't truth. Okay, it's not. So that's poor framing right there. But they want young minds are impacted at their most formative stage of intellectual development. Yeah. They want to indoctrinate the youth to read these books about Christianity. The website concedes that getting books into schools by no means guarantees, however, that the books will be read, which is why funds will also go towards a program that encourages school staff to champion the books and inspire student readership. You see, it'd be one thing to just have them available in the library, which do I really object to? Well, I hate the books, but freedom of speech and all that sort of stuff. Like we don't have complete free speech here, but you know, to be available in the schools. But when you get the school staff to champion the books and inspire student readership, that's crossing the line. That is definitely trying to bring their religious politics into schools, which is definitely not okay. Byfield's children book series, The Christians, their first 2,000 years, is sympathetic to the Crusades. Who wouldn't be sympathetic to a torture campaign, brutal torture campaign and stuff, and concludes with the September 11th attacks. I don't even want to know what he says about that. Promotional images on the website and of the fundraising dinner, headlined by Poilievre and Smith, include a photo of a plane crashing into the World Trade Center on 9/11. I glanced over this article. I didn't read it ahead of time, so that's Yeah, that's what Canadian promotional material should have for a fundraising dinner. Great societies collapse when they lose sight of what built them, the image states, showing two school-aged children reading Byfield's book. Let's help our young people discover who and what built Western civilization. No, these books should not be allowed in schools. How can we... That's the American spelling. How can we honor what he honored? Great societies collapse when they lose sight of what's... Yeah, uh-huh. It wasn't I was about to say it wasn't Christianity that built this country, but then I think about residential schools and the genocides against indigenous peoples, and that was more Catholic, though, that helped destroyed, or helped lay the foundations on the genocides this country committed. The Catholic Church had a lot to do with that. See, this is why I'm not too keen on having religion included in any of our teachings. Like, unless it's a specific course about religion, I don't want it influencing, like, history or politics or anything of that sort. By speaking at the fundraising event in Byfield's... See, right there. Press Progress knows how to spell it. Yeah, they do. Because Press Progress is a Canadian magazine. So that is how you spell it. By speaking at a fundraising event in Byfield's honor, Polyev in particular is sending a strong and potentially risky message in order to impress an already solidly conservative voting segment of the country, according to one analyst. He is just showing his colors, I suppose, to someone he considers a saltward to the Western Canadian conservative movement. Alberta political analyst Keith Brownsey told Press Progress. Polyev's conservative support is very broad right now, but it's only a few millimeters deep. Yes, he is very shallow. It wouldn't take much for the support to vanish. Brownsey, who teaches political science at Mount Royal University, specializing in Alberta and Canadian politics, says embracing the deeply religious and social conservative politics of a figure like Byfield could be divisive, even among conservative-leaning voters in Alberta and outside the province. Byfield was famously unflinching in these views, which included supporting apartheid, opposing abortion rights, opposing gay rights, expanding school privatization. Oh, he is just really bad. And this is one blunt rotation I want nothing to do with. There's nothing. Just no. No. Including this guy on the bagpipes. Ooh, salmon, steak. Douche, 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 canoe. They would be considered standard views of maybe 2 generations ago, Brownsey said. Preston Manning, who is well into his 80s, would look back fondly on him. Stephen Harper grew up with him. Polyev is playing a really dangerous game in speaking at this event. That just doesn't play well anymore. The book series was a passion project for Byfield in his final decades. Prior to that, Byfield's controversial magazine, The Alberta Report, ran from 1973 to 1999, and was once successfully taken to court by the Calgary Regional Health Authority for publishing leaked abortion data. Unsurprisingly, former Premier Jason Kenney was another one of Byfield's admirers. He was influential with certain group of people. Oh, that's not a quote from Jason Kennedy, so I don't need to do some sort of campy voice. He was influential with a certain group of people, and having Polyev there and Smith indicates who he was influential with, says Brownsey. Byfield's legacy remains influential in the province through his son Vince Byfield, who won a seat on the board of the United Conservative Party. This was achieved at least in part through the efforts of the far-right group Take Back Alberta, of which he was leading which he was a leading organizer. The Conservative Party of Canada did not respond to requests for comment from Press Progress about Poilievre's involvement with the fundraising dinner or why they were spelling honor without a U.